Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Love Spell. It has been a hot minute since I have played this game. We are going down Florian's route finally, and like, I feel like I'm like, wow. I mean, to me, I've completed the whole game. We're doing Florian's route for the second time, so it's been even more. It's been a flaming hot minute since I played his route. I do remember what happens, for the most part, but anyway. Holy shit, I need to turn my volume down. It's... Ooh. Diamond in the rough. I didn't mean to click through that, but here you go. I let out a loud groan as I hear the incessant ringing of my phone's alarm clock. As I reach over to turn it off, my head throbs in pain. Ugh, talk about a hangover. I sit up in bed, barely able to open my eyes. God, I really had too much to drink last night. Can't even remember how I got home. I try to recall the previous night's events, but my memory is filled with holes. All I can remember is eagerly chugging one shot after another at the town's bar, but the in-between is all a blur. My worrisome thoughts are interrupted by another notification from my phone. Alarm reminder number 4. Get out of bed, woman! You have class in half an hour! We don't have a glossary to read, so... Ah, I completely forgot it's still a weekday! If I'm late again, Atlas will have my head! I'd like to have his head, his neck, every bit of him I would like to have. Oh, I missed this route. I quickly attempt to jump out of bed, only to have my head start pounding again. Oh, I can't believe I got wasted on a Thursday night. What's my life coming to? Well, I guess there's no point in complaining about it now. I'll just get through this dumb morning class and come back and sleep all weekend. That sounds amazing. I want to do that. But then I'd be sad because I'd wake up on Monday and have to go back to work and I'd be like, man, slept all damn weekend. As I stare at the board of my world history class, I can feel my eyelids slowly drooping down. Oh girl, he gonna yell at you. I love the fucking map. It's cute. Finally succumbing to sleep's sweet serenade, I momentarily lose the ongoing battle between my exhaustion and I close my eyes. I've been in that in so many meetings before. Like, they make sometimes meeting rooms, like the giant auditorium rooms like this, so cold, thinking it'll keep you awake. And I'm going to tell you something. It's so cold I get hypothermia and I pass out. I am sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. And you have those moments where it's like you blink and you're like, open, and you have to consciously force your eyes open. But it's like your brain forgets how to do it because you just go to blink. You're like, I'm just going to blink. But instead, your eyelids are closed, and you're like, no, open, open your eyes. And then sometimes you have to open, like, one eye at a time. Like, you force them. Oh my God. That's what I just imagined. We've all been in that. And I swear to God, the only thing worse than that is when you're driving and you really have to freaking pee, and there's no place to stop and pee, and you're like, I'm gonna die. My bladder's gonna explode. I'm gonna die. And you're just like in tears, and no one will move, and it'll be like rest area 2 miles, and you're like, okay. And then every car around you is going like 30 miles under the speed limit. And you're like, just go. I need to pee. And you're like screaming at them, and you look like a crazy person. Yeah, good times. I went from never having to pee on road trips. Like, are you fine? Yeah, you haven't peed in 4 days. I'm fine. To like, now I'm lucky if I can cross state fucking lines without being like, okay, gotta pee. I'm fucking old, man. Spacey! Yes! Since you seem to be so absolutely enthralled by today's lesson, please tell the class. His angry face is so funny. Who was the famed Spanish conquistador who led the conquest of the Incan Empire? I think they're all wrong. I forget who I said before. Am I supposed to know the answer to this? I don't remember. Well, Balboa, wasn't he wasn't he in Pirates of the Caribbean? I'll go with that. Do I have to say his name? Because I don't know. No. I'm afraid Conquistador didn't get very far in their career. The professor shoots me an annoyed look, and as chuckles and snickers echo around the class. I guess it doesn't matter what you... I knew, like, obviously from playing this now after the first time going through, we know that the choices just affect the dialogue, but I wasn't really sure. I'm like, is there a right answer, maybe? Obviously, probably not, because he has to give us this fucking look. This look! This disappointed look! I'll do anything to make you happy, Professor. I love him. He's my glasses asshole and I fucking love him. Look, he's also wearing a tie. That's sexy. Anyway, for anyone else who'd like to take a siesta during my lectures, please feel absolutely free to not waste either of our time and simply drop the class. I can't help but wince at the professor's harsh tone. I don't really have a voice for him. I didn't the first time either. He's the hardest one for me. The other one's kind of worked out, but I'm like, I don't know. Nothing I'm going to give him is going to be good enough. The rest of the students also seem to shut up as he turns around and continues the lesson. I let out a quiet sigh as I sink deep into my seat in embarrassment. The professor glances at his watch before turning to the class. I'm handing your papers from last week back now. Please remember to review your midterm assessments for the online final exam. And I feel my stomach tighten at the mention of the words final exam and inadvertently gulp. This is the final exam that we don't study for, and then we're worried, and then we'll be like, Enix is going to yell at me. Seriously, don't mom me, Enix. Look, he was fine, but I'm just saying he had moments where I was like, don't you dare. Don't be that guy. He wasn't that guy. He wasn't, but still a little triggered. As the professor walks down the rows, he places everyone's paper face down on their desks. I've attached my comments to your title pages. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, have a nice weekend. As he finishes delivering the papers, students begin to file out of class. I quickly look down as he approaches my desk. A feeling of guilt arises as I remember half-assing this assignment the night before it was due while binge-watching anime. Again, this was the assignment that we did, obviously, in the very beginning chapter of the prologue. The professor places the paper face down on my desk and clears his throat as he walks away. I hesitantly stare at its blank back before slowly turning it over. My eyes widen in surprise. 73 out of 100. Laziness does not behoove talent. I know you're capable of much better. He believes in us! I love him so much. Ooh, it's so dark and stormy out. I love it. He's not wrong, but could have been worse, so I'll take it. I let out a breath of relief as I quickly stand up and shuffle out of the classroom, reading over the rest of the professor's markings in red ink. I'll be honest, sometimes you just check the fuck out like she did. She kind of like checked the fuck out. She's like, I'm doing this because I have to. I hated history all throughout my life, but I had to take a history class in college when I went. Well, like, obviously. Like, well, the 2-year college that I went to first, and then had to take, like, you had to take, like, an English class and, like, a math class, but, like, you took accounting because that was going to help you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't mean that sarcastically. I mean, I took accounting because it would actually help me as opposed to, like, let me take algebra. Algebra's not going to do shit for me. Accounting, yes. You know? But when I transferred schools and I went to a different one, I was going to get a 4-year degree before I dropped out and did it, like, 10 fucking years later. Anyway, stay in school, kids. Unless it's making you miserable, then it's a waste of money. Like, let's be real. But I had to take a history class, so I took, like, a British history class, I think it was. I don't remember. And then I later took an Irish history class with the same professor. I hate history because it's always like, on exact what date and time. Bitch, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I should know, like, dates and important things or years for American history. And you're like, bitch, I don't know that shit. I lived here my whole life. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I know vague, roughly, decades maybe, but, like, I don't know the fucking years for any of this shit. I don't, like, I just cannot, that's not what, my brain doesn't do that. So I took this class, and my teacher was actually the fucking best, because he's like, look, I don't remember fucking dates. I'm not going to make you remember dates. I love you! What the hell? Like, that's all history is about dates, but that wasn't easy. I don't care if you remember the dates, as long as you remember what freaking happened and the point of what happened. You know? It was the greatest thing ever. That's why I took a second class with him. As an elective, I took a fucking other history class. Anyway, not the point. Point being, I actually one time was so checked out, I was like, whatever, we got to write a paper, and I was just checked out of school in general. Everything wasn't the class. Like, he was a great teacher. He was one of, like, the few people that I remember even now. You know what I mean? Like, I had a couple of teachers in that school. I don't remember most of them. I remember him, and I remember this one other woman. She was my screenwriting teacher. My God. She was amazing. She's dead now. It's really sad, but she's amazing. But I wrote it in short story format, and the last page, every word was a different fucking color. So you know you checked out. And you know what? I don't know, I just remember that because I mean, like, 73 out of 100, I'll take it. And when your teacher's like, that was fun, don't do it again. But it was a fun read. Like, you're like, I'll take it. Like, I've had those moments with history classes. My teacher did not look like Professor Atlas, but that would have been helpful. He was an awesome teacher, though. We had a lot of fun. We watched Monty Python on a field trip once. It was amazing. It was college, so. Anyway. Sometimes you gotta remember the fun teachers. Still remember my English teacher from senior year in high school. She was amazing. I am older now than she was when she taught us. That's fucking scary. I happily munch on some chips as I walk through campus towards the local bus stop. Phew, my hangover wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. I still want to go home and sleep, though. As I continue walking, I overhear the conversation of two students nearby. Man, I'm so glad this semester's almost over. Now I can sell some of these stupid textbooks and get back some cash. Yeah, you're right. That's a great idea. My chemistry one was almost the price of a new laptop I wanted. Jesus Christ, that's either a really expensive book or a really cheap laptop. I mean, I do remember books being... Okay, I went to school a while ago, but I remember some books being like $70 to $100 and some odd dollars, and you're like, what the fuck? The one school I went to, you couldn't sell your books back. I just bought this book, brand new, and you couldn't buy used books. You had to buy them brand new. It's not like a normal school bookstore where you go in and you're like, this is the book I need for class, and then you could go through and find the cheapest one that was like, you're like, this one's almost falling apart, but it'll last, and it's only $10 versus, you know what I mean? And then you could sell them back. And they would cost, like, the ones that were in the shittiest condition would be the cheapest. So you had options, and then you had all the way to brand new, like all the different quality, like, first school I went to was not like that. You'd give them your class list, they would get your books from the back, and they would all be brand new, and you couldn't fucking sell them afterward. I think I got rid of all my books after that, but I should have kept some of them. I had some really good architecture books. Damn. Every once in a while, I'm like, what happened to those books? Oh, my parents were moving. I was like, fuck it, just get rid of them. I kept them for a long time. Anyway. I'm having weird senior flashbacks now. My ears perk up as I remember being forced to buy outrageously expensive textbooks this semester as well. He's right. I can sell mine now, too. Atlas's textbook this semester was super expensive. I thought I'd have to take out a loan to afford the tuition along with it. Speaking of tuition, I should probably look into a job for the summer before next semester's bill hits. Suddenly, I look over at my bag and notice it feels slightly lighter than usual. I stop by a nearby bench as I open the bag and begin to look through it. Wait, where's that stupid textbook? I grow increasingly anxious as I rummage and rummage, but to no avail. It only holds enough room for one book, but you flip through it. Oh, my mouse! Damn it, I lost my hat! 13 minutes in. I grab my bag and dump it out on the bench. I see an odd-looking pen fly out as I briefly remember my strange encounter yesterday. Oh yeah! An old lady gave me this along with some weird notebook. Hello, give me like my normal pointer. There we go. I glance around my bag and notice that the strange notebook isn't there either, along with my missing, overpriced textbook. Ugh! Why do I always lose everything? What is this? But I know I had the textbook with me this morning. Maybe I left it in class by accident. Glancing at the time, I stuff everything into my bag again in a hurry before heading back towards the direction of the classroom. As I enter a familiar hall, I see the classroom door is still propped open from the inside. Yes, someone's still there, thank goodness. But right as I'm about to enter, I spot Professor Atlas and another female student standing suspiciously close to each other. On pure instinct, I quickly hide behind a wall. Slowly, I peek my head inside and watch the scenario unfold before me. The young student clutches her bag as she closes her eyes. Her cheeks are flushed and her mouth quivers. Professor Atlas, I'm in love with you. I always have been. Please go on a date with me. Holy crap! What did I just walk in on? I watch as Professor Atlas stares at the girl for a few moments before crossing his arms and letting out a quick sigh. My apologies, but that's definitely not going to happen. But you're single, right? Why not? Oh, he's single. That means he has to fall in love with every woman who throws himself. He's like, it's not. But you're single and I confess to you, therefore you have to take my love and be with me. Wouldn't that be amazing if that's how it worked? That would kind of suck though. Like, if it worked the reverse, where like if you're a single woman and men be like, I love you, you have to date me now. Fuck. Like, well, I already don't leave the house. That would make me never leave the house. No one would ever say that to me. Come on. The girl presses on as I peek my head out further, slightly feeling bad for eavesdropping, but also slightly wishing I had popcorn. Please, just give me a chance. We're both adults, and I really... Adults? His tone suddenly grows icy and his eyes grow dark. He begins moving closer to the girl as she slowly backs up to the wall. He leans down to whisper in her ear, but luckily I'm at a close enough distance to catch what he says. An adult? Sweetheart, don't flatter yourself. Your grammar level is barely above the 6th grade. He's such a fucking douche. I love him. Besides, do you truly believe you can satisfy me as an adult? I have lots of needs, you know. Oh my god. Honey, I'll break you. Oh god, I love him. The girl's eyes widen as she peers up at him. I swear I can see blood gushing out of her nose. Needs? He's an adult man, woman, Jesus. And apparently a whore. Well, it's fine. Atlas's demeanor changes almost immediately as he steps back, now beaming his usual gentlemanly smile. He lets out a small chuckle. It's like, I'm flattered. I truly am. But unfortunately, I have a strict no dating my students policy. And so does this university. And as luck would have it, I rather enjoy this job. Now, please remember to submit your assignment through the web portal by next week. I like how he just pulls that, like, it's not just like, yeah, that's nice, but I don't date students. It's the, you think you can satisfy me? Yeah. And she's like, what? She's like, and he's like, I can't date students. He's such a douche. I love him so much. God, I love him. Unable to form an articulate reply, the girl mutters an apology as she runs out of the door in tears. Ouch, that was harsh. I better get out of here before he sees me. I'll just wait until he leaves and ask a janitor to unlock the room or something. As I begin to slowly creep away, a sharp tone from behind me stops me dead in my tracks. This motherfucker. And tell me, just where do you think you're going? Shoot. Looking for this, I presume? I turn around and see him holding my textbook in the air. You're like, yeah, well, I certainly... Could you imagine? She's like, well, I definitely wasn't going to profess my love for you. That's for damn sure. A wry smile plays on his face as he raises an eyebrow at me. But eavesdropping is terribly impolite. Should I teach you some new manners, Miss Spacey? You know, he needs a British accent. That would be sexy as fuck. I can't give that to him. I'm not good enough, but... I'm sorry, Professor Atlas. I just came back to get my textbook and then Well, I didn't want to interrupt. He sighs as he shakes his head, handing the book back to me. I suppose it worked out in the end. I need to speak with you privately. Follow me to my office. Right now? Still nursing a hangover. Yes. Now. She's like, damn it. Okay, let me just go drop this off at home and I'll not come back. I grab the hem of my dress nervously as my eyes dart about the small office. A few moments later, Professor Atlas reemerges and takes a seat across a desk strewn with papers and textbooks everywhere. Well, my apologies for the wait. Now then, where was I? Lecturing me? Professor Atlas adjusts his glasses as he pulls out a file from my cabinet. From a nearby cabinet. From my cabinet? Wow, from a nearby cabinet. I was thinking it's my file and like, whatever. As he places the file on the desk, I see my name on the label. Aside from being a professor, I'm also temporarily serving as an academic advisor while our current one's out on maternity leave. As luck would have it, you're one of the students I was assigned to. Oh, wonderful! Like I need another reason to get called out by you. I see that you're almost done with your general courses, but you've still yet to pick a major. May I ask why that is? I don't know why I can't read today. It's been a while since I've read. I took a couple days off reading Atome games, and now I just can't read anymore. I fidget nervously in my seat for a few minutes. It's a question I've been asked before, but I find myself avoiding a lot. I just haven't decided on anything yet, I guess. There's just so many majors to choose from, and, The professor grows quiet for a few moments. I can feel his gaze studying my face and movements as I attempt to avoid eye contact. Eventually, he leans back in his chair and drops the file folder on top of his desk. Struggling with the paradox of choice, are we? The what? The paradox of choice is a psychological phenomenon that essentially states that the more choices there are for an individual to make, the less satisfied we become and the harder it is for one to make a choice. I see, and yes, honestly, I totally relate to that. Professor Atlas chuckles before continuing on. I'm afraid you aren't the only one who does. Many students right now are faced with an overwhelming amount of choices to make. One of the more tougher ones being asked is, well, this one. What do you want to spend the next several years' worth of time, money, and energy doing? This is a choice that may or may not dictate an entirely different course your life will take altogether. Is there any way to make this easier on someone? Can we spin a wheel, or I can throw a dart? As much as I wish I could say otherwise, there isn't. His sad face. And the answer lies inside you, and only you will be able to decide. However, you do eventually need to decide this, Spacey. That is, if you wish to continue your studies here. I'm going to be a liberal arts student and just take a bunch of random fucking classes that actually mean nothing. I look down at my bag and sigh dejectedly. In reality, I have tried, Professor. I've spent a lot of time thinking about my future, but every time my thoughts linger to that area, I just feel so overwhelmed. Anytime I think of a possible route to take, I'm filled with so many questions I can't answer, and it's terrifying, if I'm being completely honest. My voice trails off as I tighten my grip on the hem of my dress. Chipotles are being loud. Professor Atlas narrows his eyes at me as he straightens up. Spacey, do you have a dream? I bite my lip at his question. Tell him the truth. It's my only option. No, I don't think I do. I see. I feel an overwhelming sense of sadness at the professor's vague answer and my own inability to form a decisive stance. It's kind of sad, though. Do you have a dream? Not really. Oh. Even if you're like, yes, I have a dream that I will become a magical unicorn-riding knight or something. It's like, okay, well, that's crazy. But, it's a dream. It doesn't have to be a logical or realistic one. It's just sad if you have none. If you're like, no, none. Oh. Suddenly, the professor stands up and heads toward a cabinet behind me. Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your life structure be. And relax. I didn't call you in here just to drill you about your life choices anyway. You didn't? No, I called you in for this. Please sign your name and initials down at the bottom. Is this academic probation? My eyes widen at the title of the paper he places before me. Student Research Assistant Faculty Scholarship Nomination Application? As I read over the details, my jaw dropped slightly. This is a prestigious and highly sought-after position among many students in the university. It essentially lets a student serve as an understudy to a faculty member for one full year, Besides being awarded a monthly stipend, students chosen are also awarded a full tuition scholarship. She's like, I got a 73 on my paper. Like, what the hell is this? Professor Atlas, I think you must be mistaken. I don't even reach the GPA average to qualify for the minimum requirements printed here. Oh, nonsense. That's already been taken care of. This is what happens when you write his name in a magic motherfucking book. I assured the deans that you'll not only meet the grade point average, but also maintain it. I'll even be privately tutoring you to make sure of it. Oh, I want his private tutoring. Fucking teach me, teach. Jesus. Teach me, Professor. Teach me all your ways. And when we get to that, it's going to be so awkward. And I'm going to be like, why do I have to read this? This is so awkward. But I love it. Okay, I just love it. Every single day. Oh my God, ride me hard. I mean, what? Look, I love him, okay? I'm not sorry. My head spins as I read all the zeros next to the monthly stipend amount. I can feel hesitation wringing my heart as my brain fails to process the unfolding situation. But why me? There's so many other more deserving students out there. At this, Professor Atlas smiles at me. Heat feels my cheeks as he stares into my eyes with a determined gaze. You're the only one I want, Spacey. It's intimidating, yet I'm unable to look away. I'm afraid you don't give yourself quite enough credit, my dear. Did you not read my comment on your paper today? No, I saw the 73 and I was like, good enough. You have talent. Oh no, we did read it. Never mind. You have talent. It may be hidden under your boorish and lazy demeanor, but it's there. I can see it in your work. Boorish and lazy, wow. You know right to the way to my heart. Therefore, it's my job, not just as your professor, but as someone who's highly devoted to the expansion of academia, that I bring it out of you. And I'm prepared to do so by any means necessary. Please, God, yes. What? It's not going to be the way I want yet. I'm speechless as I look down at the application in my hands again. My name, details, everything's already here. All that's left really is my signature, which you'd probably forge if you don't sign it, so just do it. My heart races as I look back up towards my professor's earnest emerald gaze. A sincere smile plays at his lips as he hands me a pen. You're a diamond in the rough, Spacey, and I look forward to seeing just how brightly you can shine. But you'll have to be willing to go under a little pressure first. And who knows, maybe at the end of this, you'll discover something new. Not only about yourself, but perhaps about where you could envision your life taking you. See, he's so charming and wonderful when he's in love with you. I can't help but beam at my professor's encouraging words. I quickly clutched the paper to my heart in gratitude, and in one deft swoop, signed my name at the bottom. He's got his, stabby personality, bitchiness here and there, but he's actually not terrible. I know that he's in love with us, but even in Jamie's friend, there's a kitten in a tree, and I have an important meeting, but I'm kind of worried about that. We'll take care of it. Are you okay? Make sure the kitten's safe. He was worried about a little kitten in a tree. He's kind of a softie, even if he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm just saying. The next day, I glance around the empty halls of my university as I walk towards the area Professor Atlas told me to report to yesterday. I instinctively clutch my bag closer as I find the unusually lively halls and classrooms are all but silent and devoid of any life. It feels so weird being on campus this early on a Saturday. It's surprisingly emptier than I expected. As I finally reach the door to the designated faculty room, I notice it's been left unlocked and slightly open. I can even make out a familiar voice coming from the inside. I take a deep breath before silently shooting my fist into the air. Oh, right! This is it! This is the lucky break I needed! I'm definitely going to do my best. No more half-assing! Oh, right, I forgot all the work. Forgot about the work he gives us. Oh my god. I walk into the faculty room and spot Professor Atlas sifting through some piles of paperwork. Good morning! Ah, good morning. You're here early. Good. And nice to see you're serious about this. Of course I am. And thank you for giving me this amazing opportunity. I still don't know if I'm worthy of it, but I'll definitely do my best. Professor Atlas flashes me a cheerful smile. And this is your setup. My private office is through that door across from you. And it's always open, so should you need anything, just pop your head in. Our file room is that way, the kitchen's over yonder, and the restrooms are to your left. As he gives me a small tour of my new work area, I notice that many of the other professors' doors are closed. In fact, there doesn't even seem to be anyone in the entire office but us. He's really serious about us. They have families and lives. He doesn't. Are the other professors coming in later? Nobody works on a Saturday, dumbass. No, I'm afraid many of our department's faculty are either already on summer vacation or are out doing field work. Some other student assistants may come in to man the phone lines, but aside from that, it'll be pretty empty here for the time being. My heart inexplicably starts beating faster when I hear that it'll just be the two of us, alone, in this office. Wow, chicka wow, wow. Porn music starts playing. Hell yeah. Sorry. I just said that. I forgot this was the magical sexy boy pan up. I really did. Oh my god, that was perfect timing. Like, here's the porn music, click. Oh, then we get the sexy pan. I'm like, that couldn't have worked out better if I had planned it, and it didn't, because Lord knows I forgot that we got his, his sexy glowy pan up right there. Wow, that was good. I can't help but stare at Professor Atlas's attractive side profile as he goes over some other menial instructions. I mean, the man fine as fuck, but my eyes wander down to notice his sleeves are rolled up, revealing toned forearms. As he leans closer, I unconsciously take a whiff of his rustic cologne. The scent is intoxicating, but I force my gaze to snap back up again, only to land on his perfectly styled blonde hair. I swear I can even catch a hint of his aftershave in the air. I mean, he is one of the hottest teachers around. I wonder how many girls from class would kill to be me right now. Wait till later, they'll definitely kill to be you. I mean, hello. I know what happens. You know what happens. We all know what's gonna happen. We gonna get some sexy times with this motherfucker. Those girls think you think those bitches be jealous now. Damn. By the way, how do you take your coffee? Yeah, whatever way you're gonna give it to me. I mean, what? Coffee? Never mind. Oh, 2 sugars, please. Duly noted. Please settle in. I'll be right back. I watch him walk towards the direction of the kitchen. As I turn back to my desk, I notice a small note taped to the top of my computer monitor. Welcome to the team and congratulations. F. Atlas, look at his beautiful fucking handwriting. It is so goddamn amazing. It's a small gesture, but I can't help but break out into a smile. I mean, he has fancy-ass handwriting. It's as if it were typed. Just slightly being a joke. A few days ago, I would have never thought he was anything more than a wolf in sheep's clothing, but lately he's been nothing but kind and welcoming. We're gonna get an alley-oop now. He seems really nice outside the classroom. Maybe he's just strict when he's teaching. You know, I think I misjudged him. My reverie is interrupted as a small coffee mug is placed on my desk. I look up to see Professor Atlas smiling straight at me, and I feel heat rise to my cheeks again. Oh, thank you so much. My pleasure. It's a bit of a stronger brew, so let me know if it's to your liking. If not, we can always just make some more. I bring the coffee to my lips as I feel him watching me expectantly. After taking a sip, I can't help but smile at him. It's delicious. Thank you, Professor. I'm glad to hear it. By the way, are you feeling better from yesterday? Huh? My heart beats faster as Professor Atlas brings his free hand towards my face. Like, is this a trick? Is this a trap? He gently places it on my forehead and I feel my face light up. Not anymore. Now I'm gonna die of embarrassment. I noticed in class yesterday, well, you seemed a bit drained. I was hungover. But you're looking a lot better today. It's a relief. I was quite worried. I guess that's true. She doesn't know he's in love with her yet, so she's like, this is awkward. He's being really nice and he's touching my forehead. What? He leans over you sexily. Spacey, just need to kiss you. And you're like, am I being punked? Did that show come back? I can feel my face burning up as I feel the touch of his gentle hand on my forehead. He gazes at me with a warm expression before removing his hand and taking a sip of his own coffee. If you're ever not feeling well, let me know. I'll do my best to accommodate your needs. Yeah, thank you so much. Wonderful. Well, I'll be right back with your assignment for today. After the professor disappears into his office, I discreetly try to fan my tomato-colored face. I giggle into my coffee mug as my thoughts drift off to rose-colored daydreams. Yeah, like getting freaky on your goddamn desk with this hot-ass motherfucker, because... Hello, no one else is here. Oh my god, I struck gold! I'm the luckiest girl in the school! I spin around in my chair as I grab my compact mirror and check my makeup. Suddenly, my thoughts are interrupted by a loud slamming noise. By a loud? Did I say loud? Loud slamming noise. Wow. I turn around and see Professor Atlas dropping off a monstrous stack of papers on the corner of my desk. After a few moments, he returns to drop off even more gargantuan stacks, piling them up one after another until my desk is absolutely full. I swallow hard as Professor Atlas shoots me a radiant smile while patting the piles. These are capstone proposal papers for my upper-level archaeology courses. You have a lot of classes, Jesus. I'd like them alphabetized and organized by year and semester, please. Of course. Is this due by the end of the week? Professor Atlas lets out a hearty laugh that resonates throughout the empty office. You have such a witty sense of humor, Spacey. No, these are to be done by the end of today. After all, you'll have double this workload waiting for you tomorrow. Look at the look on his face. This shady motherfucker. I love him. Also, I want them alphabetized and then organized by year and semester and like whatever. They should be, here's this stack is from class A, B. You should have them in class order. He just threw them he just shuffled them. He fucking played 52 fucking card pickup with them. He just flung them around his office and he's like, oh, also organize them by class. Shouldn't they already be organized? Nope. Because fuck you. What a dick. I love him. I love him so much. Especially that look on his face that was like, it's just for today. And when you're done, I'll give you a special treat. It's not going to be sex on my desk, is it? No, damn it. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I'm heading out for a meeting that's off campus. Oh, and do not forget, we have our tutoring session in the evening. I expect you to be back in the office by 6 sharp. You know how I feel about tardiness. Oh my god, his angry face. But also, I'm never getting out of this office. I watch in awe as he walks out of the office with an amused grin on his face, waving on the way out. As I turn back to stare at the monstrous piles of paper lined up in front of me, my jaw drops. Played. I got completely played! Which I feel like is something that he would do. As my apartment door closes behind me, I slide down lifelessly to the floor. I can barely form a sentence from the pile of mush my brain was left in after today. My body and soul ache as I stare at the 5-page homework assignment clutched in my hand. The words, due tomorrow, written at the top in red ink and circled 3 times over. What on earth did I agree to? It's the tutoring part that's gonna kill you. I feel rage finally begin to seep into me as I look back on the day's events. After ordering me to organize all the capstone proposals, the professor put me through the ringer in a 2-hour tutoring session and assigned me extra homework on top of my regular class assignments. I would like to point out, I didn't catch this the first time around. I don't think, but I did now. Extra homework on top of my regular class assignments. But we're at the end of the semester. Now, when we got, it was, okay, you have blah, 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 exam time. The exams are coming up. So, okay, it sounded like from leaving his class before we got to talk to him, it was, we still had some class time left. Like, we still had a little bit of time before exams. So this would make sense. But then, when we went, oh, no one else is here, it's a Saturday. He's like, oh, no, everyone's either on summer vacation or doing field work. You can't be on summer vacation. Your classes haven't ended yet. Why are you on summer vacation? So, like, it would make more sense if he had been like, it's a fucking Saturday. Who the hell comes into work on Saturday? And then you're like, wait, but us? Like, but he said everyone's already on summer vacation or out doing field work. Well, okay, field work, sure, because it's Saturday, but why would you be on summer vacation if classes haven't officially ended? You know what I mean? Like, and then you still have classes that have homework. Your classes are, like, it makes no sense. Unless she's taking summer classes. Which I don't think she would be, because she's going to be doing this thing, which is a summer, you know what I mean? So it doesn't make a lot of sense, but MC Vision. Disclaimer, does not actually represent, like, real life events. Oh, fuck it. I forgot about this. Atlas's smiling face is burned into my mind as I visualize horns coming out of his head and the flames of hell dancing in the backdrop. Oh, this is amazing. I love the flames around the fucking screen, too. I grip the paper in my hand as I stand up defiantly. He thinks I can't really do it. That's what it is. He thinks he can just mess with me however he pleases. I mean, well, you got another thing coming, Satan. He thinks he can mess with me however he pleases, and he's absolutely right, except for the paper writing thing. Anger and determination break through the day's exhaustion as I head over to my room, fiercely determined to complete his godforsaken assignment, even if it takes me all night. Gonna regret that tomorrow, but it's also a Saturday. The next day, because it was a Thursday night, we got drunk. So we went to his class Friday, so we're implying that the first day of our internship-y thing was Saturday, and now it's Sunday. So we're working on weekends. And that's just bullshit. I'd be like, all right, no, I'll give it to you Monday, because I don't work weekends, bitch. Oh, never mind. We'll do whatever you say, Professor. I'm so sorry. I can literally feel the dark circles pulsing under my eyes as I attempt to add yet another layer of concealer onto them. I was up all night doing that stupid assignment. I barely got a wink of sleep. Ah, good morning. Punctually perfect again. I grimace as I glance back to meet the professor's cheery smile as he comes in through the door. I force a smile back as I hand him the assignment that robbed me of my precious sleep last night. Oh, you actually did it? Excuse me? Was I not supposed to? Well, I just wasn't expecting you to have it done by today. I was even going to tell you that you could turn it in later, but too late for that now, I suppose. Good job! I can feel a murderous intent well up in me as I watch him shrug. I slump tiredly back into my chair as he watches me, an amused, knowing smile tugging at his lips. He's a demon, but I love him. 2 sugars? Please. I let out a sigh as I stare at yet another tower of unorganized papers looming ominously over my desk. I quietly look back into Professor Atlas's office to see him lost deep in thought over a paper on his desk. The afternoon sun shines through his window, giving him a dreamy, almost ethereal glow as he works the afternoon away. Devil is a handsome man, but he's still a devil. I won't fall for your tricks anymore. I turn back to my pile and shake my head in an attempt to motivate myself into getting this dreadful task done. As I continue to organize more and more papers, my desk becomes more and more cluttered. I look over and spot an organizational bin over on another professor's desk. An idea pops into my mind as I head towards the file room. I stare up at the small storage room that houses hundreds of the department's files and papers. Surprisingly, it's neatly organized. Praise the poor soul who did God's work here. Organizing this place would be a nightmare. I look around and finally spot the bins I'm looking for on the top shelf. Of course, the top shelf. Where else would they be? As I scan the area, I don't manage to find a reliable means of lifting myself up to reach the bins I'm aiming for. I glance back thoughtfully towards Atlas's office for a few moments before spinning back around with a scowl. No! He's capable of making me reorganize this whole room if I mention it. I refuse to ask him for help. Deciding to use the small counter at an arm's length away as a boost, I slowly climb up and grab onto the filing cabinet. Despite the lift in height, I can still barely reach the top. I stand on my tiptoes as I feel with my hand for the bins. Eventually, I manage to grab one and bring it down next to me. I should get another one just in case. Suddenly, my hand grabs something cushiony. Curiously, I lower the soft object down and see that I'm holding what appears to be a pink penguin plush toy. Pink penguin plush. You seem a little out of place here.
Yeah, it's quite dusty nasty up there, actually. No food either.
Ah!
Ah!
It happens in every single one, and I love it. I immediately let go of the talking toy, but the second I do, I feel my balance waver. I attempt to grab onto a rail, but end up feeling the entire cabinet move with me. My footing slips and I close my eyes as I brace myself for the worst. Oh no, it's going to be the best. Watch out! Instead of a world of pain, I feel something warm and soft embrace me. It's not Philia. Ah, for CG! It's so lovely. It's like, hold me tighter, Professor. I'm scared, Professor. Hold me tighter. I open my eyes to see Professor Atlas carrying me in his arms. He quickly straightens the cabinet out with one push of his back, and then turns to me with worry painted over his face. Are you alright, Spacey? Yes? I've been telling them to replace this old thing for months. It's an accident waiting to happen. Blood rushes to my face as I feel his strong arms lift me up effortlessly. As Cologne drifts into my senses yet again, and I notice my hand is instinctively pressed against his chest. What were you looking for? Bins? Next time, ask me. I have plenty in my office. He places me down gently. I look around at the strewn mess of files that fell in the accident and let out a large sigh. I'm sorry about the mess. I'll clean it up now. Actually, how about we call it a day? What? Really? Why are you so surprised? I wouldn't make you clean this all up alone right now. I'm not the devil, you know. I mean, you had me fooled. As he laughs bemusedly, I can't help but look away embarrassed. After we're out of the room, he motions for me to pick up my things. Come on, I'll treat you to some coffee that isn't from our faculty lounge. We can have our tutoring session out of the office today. You're like, you really serious? I mean, unless you prefer filing papers for the rest of the evening, that is. No? I mean, I know this great cafe nearby. Perfect. Let's get going then. I could use a good cup right now, too. Coffee maker is his best friend. As I walk in through the doors of my favorite place, Cafe Estrella, I can't help but smile at the delicious smell of coffee wafting through the air. Here we are! See? I told you it was a short walk! Huh. Never been here before. I didn't know there was a cafe like this so close to campus. It's pretty hidden and kind of small, but it's actually amazing. The coffee here is the best in town. Best in town? And now that's a bold statement. However, judging by how wonderful it smells in here, I think you might be onto something. Okay. We sit down at a table and order our coffees. After a few minutes, I watch Professor Atlas excitedly peer over to watch the barista make the drinks from his seat. He seems pretty excited. Maybe I should say something. What should I say? Jamie's hot, right? Yeah, that barista's hot. He's like, what? I mean, I just assumed you were gay. I'm just kidding. Do you drink coffee a lot, Professor? Only 4 times a day. 2 cups in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 right before bed. Wow, that's a lot more than the average person. Is it? I guess you can say I'm quite an aficionado then. There's nothing more sublime than just feeling the day's unease melt away under a good cup of coffee. Can't imagine my life without it. We look up from our conversation as a waiter comes over with a tray. Oh, it's you again. I meet the eyes of the cafe's new employee and I smile. Hello there. You're the new barista, right? I am. My name's Jamie. And nice to meet you both. You're Spacey, right? Mr. Saul talks about you all the time. Oh, and here, these are on the house for you guys today. Whoa, thank you so much. I watch Professor Atlas nod politely as Jamie places a steaming cup of coffee in front of him, along with some delicious-looking macaroons on the table. The professor's eyes seem to sparkle as he stares into his cup, and I can't help but giggle. He's like, "Coffee, I'll never love anything like you." I feel a little hurt by that, Professor, but it's okay. Let me know if you guys need anything else. I'll see you around, Spacey. I smile as the barista heads back. For some reason, he seems so familiar to me, but I can't place my finger on where I've seen him before. So funny that they're constantly like, where have I seen him before? And then you play his route, and the second it opens, there's that poster, and you're like, oh, right there. That's where I've seen him before. That's him. Like, every fucking route. It's so funny. I feel like it's a running gag that, like, they say it in the prologue, I think, like, once or in every route. It's like, feel like I've seen him before. And then they constantly bring it up, and you're like, it's so funny. My thoughts are interrupted as I hear Professor Atlas mutter from across the table. A cream stash uncharacteristically covers his usually flawless face. This is absolutely divine. They actually put it on the Sprite, which I thought was so funny. I can't help but let out a small giggle as I point to his caffeinated mustache. The professor clears his throat before quickly wiping it away as a reddish hue tints his cheeks. Blushy boy. Oh! My apologies, I really love coffee. It's nice to see the side of you, Professor. Coffee is great. I totally agree. Professor Atlas smiles at me as he places his cup down. Florian. What? You could call me Florian while we aren't at the university. It's a little strange to be called Professor Atlas in a cafe. Look, he's now super embarrassed. He went from slightly blushy, like, I just love coffee, to be like, call me Florian. Because he loves us. Florian, then. I just love his name, too, Florian. It's just so fucking pretty. I mean, I don't know why. I just love it. Everything about him, I just love everything. Florian Atlas. It's a great fucking name. I'm sorry, it just is. Professor Atlas's smile only seems to grow bigger as I stutter out his name. I'm embarrassed, yet secretly delighted to have his first name escape my lips. He reaches over to his briefcase and pulls out a history book, along with some notes. I forgot where we were in this, and he reaches over. I thought he was going to be to hold my hand. That's just in my imagination where it was going, and I was like, we're not even that close to a point where that would happen, but here's me daydreaming about it already. Look, I have romanced this man fully and gotten my happy-ass ending, and we get to do it again, so I'm just woo-woo all on the Florian boat, okay? Now then, how about we host our tutoring session here for the evening? I nod enthusiastically as I pull my seat closer to his and peer into the textbook. This will make it interesting and fun, and I will love it. Archaeology 101, Episode 3. We're not going to do it. We're going to do it next time. So, yep. As usual, I'm going to wrap this part up here, and then we will do episodes. Look, it's never going to sink into my brain they're episodes. It's been the whole damn game. And again, the game basically twice over, and I don't know why I just keep thinking of chapters, but at any rate, we'll start with episode Dr. Professor 3. Dr. Professor Patrick. In the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.